been to so many places lately. What do you say we take a day off from adventuring and just find somewhere nice to relax? Let Paimon think. Where are some nice places we could go? Oh, why don't we pay Cloud Retainer a visit at Mount Outsong? It's been a while since we last saw that illuminated bird. She's always the one popping up out of nowhere and scaring us half to death. So let's surprise her this time. Here we are, right outside her place. Do you still remember the first time we came here? We even brought offerings and everything. And when we told her that Rex Lapis had been assassinated, she immediately threatened to squash Liyue Harbor. Paimon thought she'd be impossible to get along with. But we probably don't need to bring any offerings now that we've gotten to know her pretty well, right? Still, Paimon's got some snacks around here somewhere, so if she really wants something, we can just use that. Huh? Traveler, did something catch your eye? Whoa, what a pretty lady. Is she also here to visit Cloud Retainer? Yeah, you're right. All it takes is one look and you can tell she's someone special. As expected of that bird lady, really. She must have a whole bunch of Adepti friends from all over the country. Okay, but if we're both friends of Cloud Retainer, then we're basically friends by association, right? Want to go up to her and say hello? Helping you make more connections is a part of Paimon's job as your reliable guide. Paimon's got this. Paimon is Paimon! And, Paimon doesn't think we've met, but we're also friends of Cloud Retainer.
You two... What is this tomfoolery? Has a shift in form so clouded your eyes that you no longer recognize one anymore?
Wait, huh? You're the illuminated bird? But you look human! How did...
Oh, donning human form is scarcely any test of one's abilities. As for your confusion, one merely had no reason to indulge such inclinations before.
So, you're indulging now because?
Well, one has made plans to pay a visit to some disciples at Liyue Harbor. Taking on a human form for such a trip is simply a way to make matters less conspicuous.
You? Worrying about keeping a low profile? You're the one who likes to pop up out of nowhere all over the place. In fact, Paimon can think of several examples. Like last year, when you suddenly appeared on the top of a roof without any warning. Or... Hey, didn't we agree not to bring that up unless she asked?
Oh? So you have taken care to follow the proper rules of etiquette after all.
Well, this is all Paimon's got. You don't mind, right?
One has never found oneself lacking in basic comforts. On the contrary, it is the gesture that one values above all else. So long as you've shown proper respect and consideration, the quantity...
That kinda makes Paimon feel a little guilty for trying to keep them for herself. Anyway, where were we before you reminded Paimon about the gifts? Ah, right. So by disciples, you must mean Ganyu and Shenhe. It's also been a while since we last saw them. Maybe we can come too.
One planned to extend the invitation even if you had not raised the matter yourself. Shenhe and Ganyu should be quite pleased to... However, one would first inquire as to the reason behind your visit here. You have cause to seek one's company?
Yeah, we just found ourselves missing you and wanted to see how you were doing. We were hoping you'd tell us one of your stories.
Is that so? If there are no urgent matters at hand, then let us make haste for Liyue Harbor. Ganyu is likely still working at Yuehai Pavilion, so that shall be our first stop.
Sounds great! Then let's all go to Liyue Harbor!
Ganyu has been quite busy with work as of late. One can count on one talon the number of times she returns to Mount Outsong each year. Xianyun has also secured employment recently. In her correspondence with me, she wrote that she shall have no need to return for the foreseeable future. Did they think one was so easily mollified? One shall investigate everything with one's own eyes and decide for oneself if their living conditions are satisfactory.
We're almost at Way High Pavilion. Hey, do you think Ganyu will be shocked to see Cloud Retainer like this? Guess we have no idea if Shenhe and Ganyu have ever seen her in this form before. Wait, where did she go? Why are you just standing there, Cloud Retainer?
Quietly now. One shall stay here.
But why? Isn't it better if we all go together?
If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, Ganyu would surely profess herself otherwise unoccupied and drop everything to attend to one's visit. One fears that would only result in her staying up all night to make up for lost time. One does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice. Do remember to inquire as to her recent well-being. Again, do not mention—
Fair enough. Makes sense. All right then, we'll just pass on your regards and...
Cloud Retainer?
Oh,
Oh, busted.
Is that lady someone you know, Ms. Ganyu?
She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting for a little bit? I believe my schedule—
Oh, not to worry, Ms. Ganyu. I'll make the necessary arrangements right away.
Thank you, Huixin.
It's been a while, Ganyu.
Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud Retainer, too. It's been quite some time since I last saw you in this form.
you are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this Cloud Retainer of whom you speak. One—
Huh?
Seems she's not buying it.
That was but a simple test. One did not expect you to be able to recognize one so easily, especially after so many years of only—
But recognizing you is, my responsibility as your—
An apt One was simply passing by while attending to some important business. One thought it would only be fitting to pay you a visit while in the area.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of any important... Oh... Cloud Retainer's right! We've still got something super important to do, so we can't stay.
Oh, is that so?
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work. A quick conversation should suffice for today. More—
I understand.
While one acknowledges the amount of work that you have to deal with every day, one must also remind you to rest. Though Adepti blood flows through your veins, it still makes one nostalgic to see you as you are now, respected and independent.
Cloud Retainer! Stop!
If you insist. We are running short on time regardless, so one will refrain from going into each and every story. Why don't you continue?
Wow, you've been to so many new places since the last time we spoke. If you ever need anything, please just come find me at Yue High Pavilion. Also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer, but if you plan to continue appearing in this—
A human name? Huh. You raise a valid point. Considering the sheer extent of—
You really think so? Not that you're not famous or anything.
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible. Nevertheless, Ganyu's advice cannot be ignored.
Xianyun?
Ah, I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of years past would rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of Adepti could rise with the clouds and rest with the moon.
Actually, those lines were originally written to describe Cloud Retainer herself.
Huh? Wait, so you're really that powerful?
And what of it? Did you truly take one to be nothing more than a bird of bigger than average size?
Not exactly.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past accomplishments. The tales of her past can only be found in ancient texts. It is said that once, a long, long time ago, there was a severe drought in Liyue. Left with no choice, many people left their homes, while others spent day and night praying to the Adepta. Although I did not live through such tragedy, simply reading about it is enough to gain a visceral understanding of all the pain and desperation during that time. On top of the drought, a noxious gas also began to spread through the land. If not for Cloud Retainer's efforts, much of Liyue would be nothing more than a barren wasteland today. The books had this to say about what happened. Upon arrival, the Adeptus borrowed the wind to retain the clouds. Immediately, the clouds gathered together, and abundant rain burst forth from the heavens.
Wow. That's incredible!
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past events. One did merely what one ought, and even if one had not interceded, the other Adepti would surely have stepped in to help.
Even so, you stopped an entire drought! Can you really control the weather like the book said? Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you. So it was Paimon's bad for calling you Illuminated Bird before.
How laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our journey through the world. What?
That's a relief. In that case...
Well, that is quite enough ancient history for now. Ganyu, have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job recently. Have you any thoughts on her workplace? Moreover, does she find herself overly inundated with work? Is she
That is a lot of questions.
There is no cause for concern, Cloud Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally. Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming recently. So, with Chef Mao being swamped with customers, and Shangling still off and out in search of new recipes,
I see. Most excellent indeed. One has had the pleasure of being introduced to that family. Shangling is kind and astute. Now, it is almost time to partake in the victuals of noon.
Huh? But didn't you just say that you had something important to do?
Can that wait until after we've eaten?
You may return to your work, Ganyu. One shall see to this matter on one's own. There will be many an occasion to dine together in the future. One is—
Of course, Cloud Retainer. Please take care. Traveler, Paimon?
See you around, guys. Whew. Paimon was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation short and not take too much of Ganyu's time. Is Paimon right?
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us. Still, the truth will be revealed to you in time.
Huh. She really seems to be playing up the whole mysterious Adeptus thing right now. Is it because we just heard that cool story about her powers?
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, how can I not? Not even fine food is enough to distract from the...
Oh, I'm far more interested in getting her details than ordering any dish.
You do it!
No. I think you should. Wait.
What can I get for you today?
Greetings, miss. I was just wondering if you'd...
What would you like to order?
2 servings of Mora meat to go.
Shenhe!
Welcome. It's been a while. May I...
Don't welcome us as guests and greet us as old friends in the same line. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is?
This is Miss Xianyun.
Master?
One does not recall ever revealing this form to you before. How were you able to ascertain one's true identity with such ease?
I've trained and lived with Master for more than 10 years. I would recognize you no matter what form you take.
You...
Is something the matter, Master?
Hardly. One simply learned of your employment from your letter and came to check on your well...
And check out the great food, too.
Indeed. It's almost lunchtime. My apologies. I'm still on the clock and can't talk for very long.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler in Paimon, are you here for Shenhe? The lunch rush isn't in yet, Shenhe. So I've got things covered for now. Go ahead, sit down and enjoy some time with your friends. I'll let you know if...
Thank you, Chef Mao.
Wow. Leo's really got a lot going
Cheap
for
and
it.
tasty chop suey!
It is just as one expected. The owner of Wanmin Restaurant is indeed a most reasonable and... Still, the work here entails dealing with quite a varied group of people. Has this been difficult for you, Shenhe?
It's been manageable so far. I sometimes run into strange people, but I have figured out a way to deal with them.
Seems like you've been making progress. So by dealing with them...
First, I try to talk sense into them. If that doesn't work, I threaten them with violence. At this point, they usually decide they are in favor.
Oh, how should I...
Oh, a sensible plan. One is gladdened to see you integrate so well into human society.
And you, Master? How have you been?
Simply marvelous. Though Mount Outsong has scarcely enjoyed your presence recently, one has hardly found the pleasure of one's own company to be lacking.
I see. Oh, just as expected of Master. I have missed Master quite a bit too. Even though work has been busy lately, I've already had a conversation with Chef Mao about...
Oh, you did? Do make note of such
Whoa. Her mood shot up just...
By the way, Master, since you are in Liyue Harbor, have you had...
Indeed. She is similarly preoccupied with her work. There were...
Ganyu told us the story of Cloud Retainer's name. It was amazing. We never knew how powerful she was before.
I see. In that case, allow me to also share a story about Master's...
Oh?
Is that a problem, Master? I believe this to be a good topic of conversation.
No, not a problem. One was simply caught off guard. But no matter. Please, proceed. One is most curious to see how much of one's own conversational prowess you possess.
Master once participated in a race against Mooncarver. After Mooncarver lost, he insisted that Master's ability to fly gave her a natural edge. In response, Master agreed to forego flying in return for being able to use one of her devices in the race. Mooncarver accepted, only to find Master.
Huh. What kind of device was it?
It was a mechanical vehicle made out of iron. What was it called again?
Oh, you refer to the bicyclical Thunder Flashmobile. One spent 49 days conceptualizing and crafting it. It need only be infused with adeptal energy, and it can cover thousands of miles in one day. Oh, it boggles the mind why Mooncarver ever supposed he might best me in a contest of locomotion. Though he sprinted with all his might, he could barely keep up. Alas, the one flaw of my mechanism lay in its weakness against mountainous terrain. One was thwarted mere seconds from victory, when it was thrown off course and failed to make it across the final stretch.
Master, that was the end of that story.
Is that so? Huh. With you gone, one has seldom felt the desire.
Have you been lonely, Master?
Lonely? Huh. At one's age, entire human generations come and go in the blink of an eye. 'Tis a most foreign sentiment. What is the reason for that look upon your face?
It's nothing. It's just... Well, Paimon gained a lot of respect for you after listening to that story of you summoning the rain and everything. Paimon's just a little bit confused. Which one of the
To me, they are both, Master. One is the master that's...
Huh. One finds oneself exalted yet again with sweet words of praise and flattery of a most extravagant nature. You chose to exalt one with your words, yet you... This is not to say that your words paint an inaccurate picture. One has always lived by a single ideal. Eschew all action and abide by no rule.
She got, like, what, 2 sentences of flattery from her disciple? And it's...
Do you have any empty tables?
Hey there, could we get another fish stew?
I'm hearing more guests come in. I should get back to work.
All right, good luck with the lunchtime rush.
Mm-hmm.
So much yummy food! Paimon's gonna feast!
One is fond of all kinds of delicacies and delights in a multitude. The dishes here demonstrate no shortage of culinary skill. Their unique flavor profile has left one more than satisfied.
Everything's so tasty! A bit too hot at times, but still...
I'm sorry, miss, but our tables are full.
Shall we try somewhere else, Granny?
But it smells so delightful. Can we really not eat here?
Well, you could always check with some of the other guests and...
Okay, I'll ask around. Excuse me. Would you mind letting us share a table with you? There are no empty well, Paimon doesn't mind. What about you guys? Great! Thanks so much. My name is Shuyu, and... Granny? Yep. Is there something wrong with that? No, Paimon's just a bit surprised. She looks... Yeah, a lot of people compliment Granny on her youthful looks, but she's actually much older than... Granny? Why don't you take a seat? Come on, it's not polite to stare.
Huh. Have we met before?
No.
Tis a fated meeting, then. Please, take a seat.
What would you like to eat, Granny? I can order for you.
I want braised earthworms. They always pop up out of the ground after a rainstorm.
No, not this again. Granny, there's no braised earthworms on the menu. Braised earthworms? Well, that sounds weird. Do people actually eat that? Right, that's what Paimon was thinking too. I need any help? Help? Oh, do you mean with Granny? Thanks, that's nice of you to offer. Granny has pretty bad dementia, so her memory's getting worse all the time. Actually, her memory's been bad ever since I was little. But it's gotten so bad lately that I even have to remind her who I am every morning. They died young. It's just me and Granny now. Oh, but it's okay. Don't feel bad. Granny loves me a lot, and I love her a lot too. Sure, it's hard at times, but you just gotta make the best of the life you've got. Wow, you're really tough for your age, kid. You're too kind.
And me? Oh, what about me?
You're tough too, Granny. Plus, you're really gentle.
Yes, and it's hardly as if I forget everything. I still remember the important things. I remember now. It was a dream. I had a dream where everything was dark.
Huh? That sounds super important. But how come you've never told me about
it? It was just a dream, so I forgot about it. But I'm in a good mood now, and somehow I remembered it again. You know, I believe I've had this dream.
Wait, so you have a reoccurring dream where someone's talking to you? That sounds spooky. Oh, does that mean you're possessed?
Unlikely. Her eyes are clear, and her breathing remains.
Are you sure?
Who do you take me for? Is one not an adept? Am I not an expert?
Huh, you're right. Paimon almost forgot you're the expert. In that case, do you still remember what the person in your...
Not anymore. Although, I have a sense.
This is just getting weirder and weirder. What is going on here?
As one said, fate must have brought us together.
Are you sure? Paimon's Paimon.
Just Xianyun is fine.
Thank you all so much for offering to help. Oh, we don't need any payment for this. You're welcome. But Miss Xianyun, what? All we have to go off is that dream.
That is elementary. Since her dreams portray her younger self, then we shall retrace the steps of her youth.
Sounds like a plan. So, Granny, do you remember which places you went?
Why, of course I do. The heavens above, the earth below, the wispy...
Okay, Once, when I was really little, my dad told me that Granny used to be a martial artist heroine who's... If it's true, then maybe they wrote about it in the history books or something. A martial arts heroine? Oh, Shinjo knows tons about Liyue's chivalric traditions. If anyone knows about the heroes of the past, it's...
Are you leaving already?
I'll go order some food, Granny. If there's nothing on the menu you...
It seems we must part ways for now. The Traveler and Paimon are bound for the Feiyun Commerce Guild, while Yuendai and Shuyu shall remain here and partake of their lunch. As for myself, I have matters...
Street word rambler?
Precisely. Let us meet at Yujing Terrace.
For this price, the... We're way behind schedule.
Huh.
It's you.
Shincho! Great, we found you! We wanted...
That's not a whole lot of information to go off of. I can't pinpoint her identity from your description alone. But considering her age, I am reminded of a nameless heroine whose...
Nameless heroine?
That's right. The novels often speak of a great drought from 50 years ago. As the people suffered, a nameless heroine appeared and began to clear away evil spirits and bandits. All they knew was that she always acted alone. Later, though, she supposedly fell in love with a similarly noble-minded exorcist from Mount Tianheng. They were... After the drought ended, the heroine and the exorcist left the public eye and began living a reclusive life in the mountains. The way this nameless heroine faded from fame into obscurity later in life is not too
Thanks a lot, Shincho. We knew it'd be worth...
It's nothing at all. Just something I came across while reading. I did do a bit of...
Well, Paimon still thinks that's super cool. Oh, wait. Shincho, if you've read up on her, do you know of any places...
Let me think. In the novels, the nameless heroine always appeared near one of 3 places. Perhaps the real-life heroine who inspired the character was also often seen near those 3 places. That would explain why those locations appear in the various novels written about her. You're welcome. To be honest, I found some parts of the story confusing when I first came across. It's rare for a chivalric hero to fade into obscurity during their lifetime, even after retiring from the public eye. But I've never understood why someone would go to such lengths to erase themselves from public memory. It's almost as if she was trying to hide from something.
We'll be sure to tell you if we manage to uncover the truth.
That's a deal. Perhaps, behind the truth of it all, there lies a story more fantastical than any work of fiction.
Paimon feels like we just learned so much from Shincho. A drought, a nameless heroine, a life of seclusion. Wait, why does the story sound super familiar? Oh, right! There's a drought in this story, too! Shincho, are droughts super common in Liyue or something?
Well, they used to be. But people have long since developed methods to prevent them, like by cultivating the soil or... So while droughts do happen from time to time, they are rarely regarded as true disasters. The drought 50 years ago is probably... The crops withered, the streams ran dry, and the monsters in the mountains became rabid and agitated. Countless caravans were attacked, and...
That sounds awful!
Yeah, and that's exactly why the nameless heroine was so beloved. She must have been someone of true... Still, as terrible as that drought was, it was... They say that back in those days, disasters were both more severe and more common. Only the strongest of Adepti could hope to dispel... Do you have any other questions?
We're good for now. We're just going to head back and meet up with Miss Xian. Paimon hopes that Granny Yuendai will be able to remember more of her past. Anyway, we'll be off now. See you some other time.
It's no problem at all.
Next on the agenda...
I have recorded the tune that you requested. I hope it will be of help to you.
Oh, thank you. Straight word... Ping. What has amused you so?
Oh, it's no serious matter. I was just reminiscing about the last time I saw you in this form. Time has wrought such change in this world, and yet...
Time has little bearing on one's existence, nor has one keenly felt its effects whilst dwelling at Mount Outsong. Nevertheless...
Oh, why so formal all of a sudden? I must say...
Well, the inquiry is as... approximately how much more would one need to afford a comfortable life in the harbor?
It does not require as much as you may think. Still...
Cloud Retainer, Madam Ping! you two talking about?
Nothing save for some trivial matters.
Shinjo has a theory, but let's...
Do not be troubled, young lady.
What do you think, Shuyu? Does it match up with what you know of your granny?
According to the story, the nameless heroine eventually fell in love with an exorcist from Mount Tianheng. I don't have many memories of him, but there was this one time I found a box in her attic full of a bunch of weird sigils. I think so too. Granny might remember something once she's returned to a familiar place.
What marvelous tea. It's as if I was taking a stroll in the mountains.
Is that so? Then please drink as much as you like. There's no need to hurry. At our age, it's always nice to slow down and take the time to appreciate pleasant conversation among friends.
Thank you.
Okay, since we have the time, can I ask you something?
Sure thing. What would you like to know?
I have a secret I want to tell you. Let's go talk over there.
What's wrong, Shuyu?
Well, I've been kind of meaning to ask ever since we started talking in the restaurant, but are you guys all adepti in disguise?
Oh! About that.
Well, you guys just seem super special. Plus, I think I might have heard Miss Xianyun call herself an
Must have been a slip of the tongue. Xianyun, since you were the one who, misspoke, maybe you can explain to Shuyu here.
One is indeed an adeptus. Is that of some concern?
Huh?
I knew it. Well, one time when I was a little kid, I saw a pure white illuminated crane. I had this super high fever, and Granny wasn't around. I was feeling all icky and gross, but then she put me on her back and flew me to her cool Adeptus house and fed me some sort of magic potion. I really wanted to thank her, but I was too so I just kind of wanted to ask if maybe...
A pure white illuminated crane? The only two we've ever met are blue and white and black and brown. Have you ever met one that's pure white, Cloud Retainer?
Never has one met an adeptus with such features. One surmises such a...
That's weird. Was it really just a dream that... Well, even if it was just in my head, it doesn't matter that much anyway. All I really want is to help
Leave it to us! Now that we know the 3 locations, let's go to Wangshu.
Okay.
Wangshu Inn. Wangshu Inn.
Do you remember this place, Granny?
Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And if you look out into the distance, you can always... I believe I used to have a room here. It had...
I'll come with.
Paimon's still having some trouble understanding what she's talking about, but... Whoa! Shao! What are you doing here all of a sudden? You scared the living daylights out of Paimon!
I sensed a non-human presence and decided to come take a look. If you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose there's no cause for concern. It's been a while, Cloud Retainer. I see you have returned to your previous form. I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions to...
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war?
the glory of one's newest invention, the Bang Bang Continuous Fire Mechanism. Hands up and surrender, or...
An impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. The Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn.
A Cloud Retainer who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it. But what happened after that? If you were so powerful in your human form, why did you decide to take up your bird form again?
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one still have for such a shape? When dwelling between mountain and forest, away from the struggles and troubles of the mortal world.
After the war, Cloud Retainer retired to Mount Outsong, only revealing herself to the occasional visitor. And although I do believe there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago, when she decided to don her human form.
One believes there is little need to relive bygone.
Granny, are you okay? Back then...
Perhaps this conversation should end here. Should you encounter any trouble, you need only call my name.
Everyone! I think Granny is finally beginning...
Slowly now, calm your mind and recount what...
A long time ago, I stayed here to recuperate from my...
Huh. So what Shinto said was true! You did fall ill! Was that what...
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't even... I was confined to my room in Wangshu Inn, where I spent many days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while. One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of Soul Revital. He told me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms. Sure enough, I made a full recovery. My illness...
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying... And it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Hey! You're not useless. You've done so...
Oh, fret not, dear child. Granny was just a bit frustrated.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding pieces of one's past is always superior to not finding anything at all.
Next location. Next location. Oh, there isn't really a landmark there, so where should we stop? After all, if she was there for any length of time, then she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon...
Next on the agenda...
Whoa, why are there so many treasure hoarders here? Guess it's time to round up some bad guys. Do you remember anything
Let me think. I feel like I've been here before, but I don't think I stayed here too long.
Got it. That's okay. There are still...
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, I believe I brought... Ah, yes. I brought some sweet snacks with me. Go on, take some. You need to eat a lot if you want to grow big and strong.
Oh, thank you! Then Paimon will help herself.
We're way behind schedule.
Paimon sees an abandoned house. Why don't we take a break over there?
This place.
Did you remember something, Granny?
I remember. Shuyu, it was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit. I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in... I remember that night. I remember falling to my knees. I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you...
Sin? Oath?
I don't know. I don't remember. I only remember praying. Eventually, the house was filled with the sound of my baby's first cries. That baby.
My dad?
He was my pride and joy. And so are you. But you're always going to be different from me. I
don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be...
You're too sweet, Shuyu. I'm lucky to have you with me. All right. Let's not stand around.
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Xianyun Peak. Yuandai, how fares your health?
I may be a bit slow, but I'll do my best to keep up. I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Climb on. I shall carry you to the top. Oh, such lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid mind, to free myself of this torment and the burden it places upon others.
Fret not. You have my aid in this endeavor.
Next on the agenda...
We're fine. Does this place feel familiar to you, Granny?
Let me see. How strange. Have I... When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiar... But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just...
But did the stories get it wrong then? Yeah, that's true. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny Yuendai's memory just like the others.
I'm sorry to disappoint you too.
It's all right. We're not going to give up yet. We'll figure...
Thank you. If only I could remember. Huh? That way. What's that mountain?
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsong? Looks like we've come full circle.
Mount Outsong. Mount Out song.
Granny, are you okay? Don't push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you can't remember.
Mount Out song,
Mount Out song holds some familiar.
It does, but
Are you feeling unwell?
My head. It feels all heavy and dizzy.
Cloud... Miss Xianyun, is there anything you can do?
Let us go to Mount Out.
But...
Fret not, all will be well. You and I, you may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I never leave anything to chance.
Healthy, but...
Come on, just tell Paimon already!
Here, this is it.
Huh? But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering?
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the... It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, soothing agitation and anxiety, relieving exhaustion and insomnia, it...
Whoa, what a cool gadget! We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved...
How preposterous. Had you and I not recalled much of her past through her... We Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves. Had she lacked such
Paimon thinks she gets it now.
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from street...
Whoa, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels light as a feather.
And you and I. It... It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie. Come, join one on this side. We shall give her...
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the me from not that long ago. We should have...
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you okay?
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned?
Wait, did you just call her by her full name? You already knew each other?
Yes. I now remember everything.
Granny, please don't cry.
Oh, don't worry, I'm so sorry, everyone. You've gone to so much trouble on my behalf. It's all come back to me now. The most important thing that I had forgotten.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure.
No, it's okay. Shuyu, everyone, I cannot thank you.
Please, Granny, don't force yourself. What happened in the past?
I know, dear child. My feelings for you are some time ago. I made it.
Is this the sin that you mentioned in Jueyun Karst? What happened?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. At some point, I somehow gained wisdom and sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right.
50 years ago?
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. From them, I learned how she had saved people from a similar crisis. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than anything, I dreamt of becoming an adeptus like her. I wanted to travel the land like she had, but I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. Once she learned of my desires, she warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as—
Oh no. So that was the source of your dementia all along.
Was it because of Gran?
Indeed, I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away.
Oh no.
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strange illness. My memories became hazy and confused. Along with my memories as a crane, I soon forgot the true cause of my suffering as well. I knew only that I had committed a sin. Looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate coincidence.
Granny, what's wrong?
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence? Tea pills concocted using the blood of an adeptus? Master, don't tell me.
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not? Consider the pills a symbol of—
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide—
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident.
Oh, wait! Paimon's confused! So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again?
Perhaps it is— One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses. In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook, wishing to grant you a life without regrets. One gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to... As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one took great care to alter one's features and select the appropriate attire. Only after as one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. One was quite torn. Should one... Nevertheless, one would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable, even considering your loss of memory. Skyward! Skyward! Make way for the Adeptus! Skyward! Seize the skies! Skyward! Scatter! Stray clouds converge! Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity. Sad godly remains, in turn. One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shocked. In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air. and one saw you carefully cradle the child to see you happy. That was... Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait! But if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale. Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give. Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, when one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly. One had no choice but to apply powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. You became more than amenable enough when one stood before you. It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, you and I was nearly entirely pure white in color. Though you had never encountered her in that form, perhaps fate brought you two together. Now all has been revealed. One owes you an apology, you and I. One recognized you upon your very entrance into one. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu and Shenhe. Indeed. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all you had lost, all those cherished memories would merely have become the fictionalized account of another. Memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not agree? Even if the process was painful.
Master, I must ask. If you found me all those years ago...
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary, 'tis a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal writing. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, yet the door remains. One expects you too have sensed. 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide, even the power of an adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have forgotten your life as a human entirely. Fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your...
So, what?
One will help her reclaim her original form as a wild crane.
She's gotta go back to being a regular crane.
Master, you've already... I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness.
Granny? Please don't leave, okay?
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a... Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food to grow big and...
I promise, Granny.
Good girl. Good girl. Don't worry. It's not goodbye forever. I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own...
Good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little while.
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll live.
That's a good girl. I'm so sorry, Master.
Xiu.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll. Now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax.
I always believed we would see each other again, that our days of separation would finally end, and all my troubles would be behind me. If only things could stay this way forever.
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up. Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now? Oh, Paimon was wasn't talking to you. Paimon had a dream about eating...
Madam Adept...
Oh, Shuyu, you're awake. How do you feel?
I feel... a little better. Thanks. I know I'll see Granny again someday, so I don't feel so sad anymore. Madam Adeptus, could I, ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Oh, and have you
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong. She felt really bad about it, but without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much she loved me. I could become a cool Adeptus like you, and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that.
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus. No, I mean...
Shuyu, are you sure about this? Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing. If you join them, you'll never enjoy One-Min Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
How utterly preposterous. Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's diet...
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access to certain finer mortal comforts. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shuyu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Whoa! You're leaving Mount Outsong?
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's residence. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that one is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. Why are you all so silent?
Paimon is, just a bit shocked, that's all. So, does this mean we can grab a meal together in Liyue Harbor sometime?
One has precious little time to squander. However, if one finds oneself otherwise, one will be assuming the identity of a human while residing in Liyue Harbor. You should take care to avoid disclosing one's true identity.
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret. So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. Preparation is the key to success, after all. One plans to put up various items from one's collection for sale. The earnings should provide for a comfortable living in Liyue Harbor. One has already picked out a handsome property near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small purchase, but what is mortal life if not one expense?
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up in Liyue Harbor?
A sensible plan. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnium mechanism as a souvenir? Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting...
Awesome! Thanks, Cloud! Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out? Should we make a trip to the Feiyun Commerce Guild? It's totally up to you.
Next on the agenda... We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda...
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of
To be quite honest, in what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I have to be careful. Yes, you...
We're here, Cloud. Miss...
perfect timing. This ignorant... I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for
Several...
Indeed. They're family heirlooms.
Yep, they've definitely...
Hear that? Had I... doubt their authenticity any further, and I...
Whoa! Please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack...
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler...
Master! Oh, it's you two again.
Shoo you! You got a new...
Mm-hmm. Master made it for me.
Huh? You know how to make...
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so I just left them outside.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Actually, I should probably, sort through...
It appears my young apprentice... Now, this expert you mentioned...
Soon. Here, allow me to make some introductions. This is Mr. Zhongli. Mr. Zhongli, this is Miss Xianyun. She's the one...
If it isn't Miss Xianyun.
Indeed. Most serendip...
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate...
So you...
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If...
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail.
Why, you flatter me, Miss
Not at all.
While I am loath to, but you two already knew each other, and you...
A preposterous accusation!
Miss Xianyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and...
Say no more. Let us depart.
I jest! What fool would still harbor I deeply apologize for doubting you. So,
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism. The same can be said for this one here. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of...
All right. Then, in that case, Miss Xianyun, I'll take the lot.
The Northland Bank?
I fear people only use the term bank.
Zhongli!
My friends,
We've been great! How about you?
my days have been quite pleasant as well. As for you, Miss Xianyun...
I must say, the name Xianyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense...
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
Well... Alas, refer to me, however.
It would seem that you...
One has indeed. One's previous days were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move... This city...
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years, the scene we witness here may change in ways that are impossible for either of us to imagine.
All right, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the host as we try some specialty dishes together? One must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so Logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves of faster reflexes on that occasion.
Huh! Hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand. It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple-layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot. One has already passed word to Shenhe and Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple. Is that agreeable to everyone?
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhang.
A humble employee.
Nice to meet you too.
That should be everyone.
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after even just one bite. You know, 'cause it's super...
That's...
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait